Hello everyone, welcome to the broadcast for this brand new year, 2025. How are you all doing today? Great to be here with you. I hope you all had a great new year and are ready to start off the brand new year in a very happy way. I sure hope that you are. My hands are cold here. I have my tea to warm them up. I got my mice over here, my silly little cute mice. So how are you all doing today? Is the new year treating you well so far? We're only gosh, it feels like it's been longer. It feels like it's been longer than just 5 days, but apparently it's only been 5 days of the new year. So it's crazy, right? It's crazy. It really is. 5 days of the new year. And that's it. Gosh, I don't know how long it actually feels like. It actually feels like maybe we're like a few weeks in, but no, it's just 5 days. 5 days. So, yeah, my New Year's time, nothing too crazy for the most part. It was relatively peaceful, relaxing. Nothing too crazy going on, I must say. So, yeah, pretty much uneventful, as it usually is for New Year's. See, I like the New Year, because the New Year is a time, as we talked about during last week's stream, we reflected back on a lot of the accomplishments that we've made in 2024, things that we can improve on going into the new year, and then ultimately setting goals for ourselves to be able to accomplish our dreams and desires for the coming year. And with this change of time, it's just another day when you really think about it. It's just going from one day to the next. It doesn't really matter if it's years or any of that sort of stuff, but it is certainly a time that we can really think about our life and reflect back to see some of the progress that we've made, to be able to improve it, to set new goals for ourselves, to be able to continue forward with what we plan to do and just move in a direction that is beneficial for us. So that is what it's all about. That is why I like this time of year when it's a new year, because it allows me time to see where I was, see where I'm going, and plan accordingly and plan ahead. So I hope all of you have done the same. Mice, have you done the same too? No, Layla. All we want to do is sniff feet. Boy, you just made the camera go dark. There, it's brighter again. I can make the camera go dark too. Watch. No, boys, only that other mouse. Okay. How cute are they there? See if you can put them just like that. Gosh, let me tell you this, my hands are so cold that when I'm touching my tea, it's like I have frostbite now. My hands are just so cold. I touch my tea, you know that feeling like when your hands are like super cold and you put it under like hot water? That is what it felt like. Like I just got frostburn on my hands. But anyway, I hope all of you are doing fantastic. I see that you all are, so I hope that this year is fantastic for you. Now, warm up my hands just a little bit more here. That'd be good. Okay. So what we're going to be talking about today is about living in a state of resistance and how you can remove yourself from this state of resistance, because as we're entering into this new year, it's time to see what maybe you are resistant to, any sort of change that you're resistant to, or other things going on in your life that are holding you back. It's time for a new beginning, which means that you have to reevaluate a lot of these things that are causing resistance in your life and ultimately make a lot of changes to be able to live in a state of non-resistance where nothing is going to hold you back. So that is really a major thing to really reflect on here. What are some of the things that are holding you back? So just think about that within your own life. What are things that may be preventing you from reaching your full potential? As I take my first sip of tea, I would let you reflect on that. Just think about something in your life that is holding you back in some sort of way. There you go. I can take that sip. This will warm me up from my cold hands. Only my hands are cold. You know how it is. You know how it is. Only the extremities get cold. Hands and feet. Nothing else really does. Okay, hopefully you've had some time to really reflect on your own life of what is holding you back. What are some things holding you back? Maybe you have some sort of fear or anxiety about something. Perhaps you have some financial problems that are holding you back. Maybe it's nothing necessarily mental related. Maybe it's your environment, things around you that are preventing you. Some sort of thing that is holding you back from realizing what your true potential is. It could be any number of things, to be completely honest with you. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. It's about your own personal life of what is holding you back, what is preventing you from living to your greatest potential. That's something you're going to have to figure out and answer. So once you realize this, let's just use, for example, I would say anxiety is probably a good one because, you know, this channel here is a lot about anxiety. We talk a lot about anxiety, dealing with problems with meeting people and connecting with people and going places and just having anxiety in general. Of anxiety, I always describe as you anticipating something to happen. Whatever that may be. You have some sort of anticipation of an event that is going to happen in the future. And it may never happen the way that you think that it's going to happen. It could happen in a very different and completely different way. But it usually is that anticipation, that anxiety that you have regarding some sort of event that's going to happen in the future. So, for example, if that is something that is holding you back, you can be very resistant because your mind is preventing you from experiencing whatever it is that you want to experience, because anxiety is holding you back from experiencing that particular activity, that task. Or, you know, another good example here that I often give is people who have reached out to me before who have been, they say that they're very alone, like they don't really know anyone or whatever, and they don't make any attempt because of their anxiety. So if you're not able to, if you don't want to, if you're not willing to put in that effort to combat that anxiety that you may have, then it can cause a lot of problems because you're in that state of resistance. You want something to happen, but you can't let it happen because you have some sort of fear. So that is one of the main things. So whatever the case is, if you really reflect and think about the things that are making you feel that are holding you back, some sort of resistance that you are in, that is holding you back in some sort of way. So just think about that. Just think about those things within your life. Another major thing is that a lot of these could be influenced by other people. A lot of external things, of things that you are resistant to, are often as a result of external sources. Us letting other people control us to some degree. Now, that brings up a much larger question as to why do we let other people control us? Why do we let even just some stranger let us feel a certain way about ourselves, that we thought we were good in this particular area, in this particular thing, but then some sort of stranger says something, or it's like we don't want to upset this other person or something along those lines, or even just people more so that are in our life on a much more personal level, whether it be closer friends or family members. We have this intense fear of letting them down, so we manipulate our personality to kind of match what they want us to do, what is of their best interest. But that puts us into a state of resistance right there, because we are then resistant to our own ideas and things that we want to accomplish within our life. We are no longer prioritizing those, but are instead trying to please someone else, make someone else happy as a result. So we often rely on external sources to make other people happy. And when we really think about it, it's often because we want to be able to fit in with most people. We don't want to be the outcast. We don't want to be the person who's going to be seen as different, as a weirdo even, or as someone who is just different from the norm. However, there is a lot of positivity in being very different, because that's how a lot of new creative ideas come about, from people who are very unique, very different, and who have creative thinking that thinks outside what is considered normal thinking beliefs. So when we really think about it, we're holding ourselves back by trying to please other people, by trying to fit in with what other people want us to do. So we constrain ourselves, we hold ourselves back, and we prevent ourselves from actually living to our fullest potential, because we just want to fit in. We just want to do what someone else tells us to do, and we just want to go with whatever. We don't really want to think about what we want. Despite the fact that we know if we pursued our best interest, no matter how much judgment we get from other people, that we would be much happier as a result. But we often don't do that because we fear judgment from other people. We fear that other people are going to criticize us or judge us or belittle us. It's like, oh, I don't want to do this because what if this person thinks this about me or says that about me? And it's a sad thing. It really is, because a lot of people manipulate who they are to match whatever is the norm, whatever is the popular thing to do. Isn't that right, boys? Noah, ladies, we are our own unique creature, and we sniff feet. Look, you gotta take it from the wise rat himself. He doesn't care if people judge him or say that he's nasty for sniffing feet. That's right. So yeah, he doesn't care about that. So you gotta be like him and just not really care what other people have to say. But that's a whole nother topic in itself, basically. If we really think about how can we prevent ourselves from not caring what other people think about us, a lot of times it has to do with your own self-confidence, being able to be comfortable with the person that you are, and being comfortable with other people criticizing you and judging you. If you like an activity, if you like something and you know that your friends or other people are going to laugh at you and make fun of you for it, do you prevent yourself from actually liking that thing or doing that activity? Or are you thinking then instead, I really don't care what they say. I like this and this is what I'm going to do. That's the type of mindset to actually have here. And it's a very hard thing to actually build up because, as I said, we want to fit in with other people. We don't want to be the outcast. We just want to blend in. That's how most people are, the vast majority of people. I'm not like that. I am certainly an outcast with almost everything, really. I mean, it's like my interest, it's like I would really not find anyone who has a lot of the same interest as me. It's just not going to happen. Okay? Because my interests are all over the place. So I don't want to fit in, if that makes sense. Like, I just want to be myself and be happy with the person that I am, and that's exactly what I do. It's like, I could be on here right now and be like, oh my gosh, you guys, look what I just picked up at my store today. Okay, look at all these clothing and like all this beauty stuff and just doing all this like ridiculous, stupid crap. And oh look, let's try on a bikini, guys. All this alluring stuff on the internet. All that sort of ridiculous stuff. or if I'm trying to do something like talking about very popular topics and such, you know, that would get so much attention. But no, we talk about the very serious matters. And what scares people more than, you know, it's these serious matters. You diving into the psyche of another person and trying to understand the reasons why they think the way that they do. And that's exactly what I do. It's like I analyze the people that I talk with. I understand where they're coming from here, and I kind of adapt myself to, you know, best kind of suit, you know, the friendship or however their needs are and whatever. And I understand the person. I understand the reasons why they are the way that they are. And a lot of times they are not even aware that the reason why they behave a certain way, or that they think certain things, or that they keep attracting bad situations or the wrong people to them, is often as a result of some sort of past issue that they have yet to overcome. They cannot see it. I can clearly see it. I can see it very easily because I know in my own life I have witnessed it firsthand myself. I have seen how the things that I've went through in the past have influenced the person that I am today, and it's up to me as an adult to overcome those things. A lot of other people, they don't see it that way because they're not analytical like that. So basically what I'm saying is, like, yeah, I could try to fit in by doing all the popular things, but that's not who I am. That's not what I'm interested in. That just feels like it is a betrayal of who I am and what my personality is all about. Because I'm someone who likes to dig down much deeper. I like to talk about much more serious topics. You know, if you've been even following me for, you know, just, even if you've just seen a handful of my videos, you know, it's like I talk about very deep, serious topics that most people would rather not explore. They do not care to actually explore a lot of those topics. They really don't. Because it's too hard for most people. Let's be honest. Most people, it's just much easier to just turn on a game or watch a movie or just tune out whatever your struggles and problems are than to actually analyze your own behavior and thinking to actually get you to a better place. But it's that type of thinking that I have, that I discuss and that I help other people with, that really digs down into the reasons why that you feel the way that you are so you can overcome those challenges. So, as we talked about, we let other people influence us. We try to go along with the crowd. We try to be not necessarily popular. We just like to blend in. We don't want to draw attention to ourselves. I don't like to draw attention to myself. Let's be real here, but that's a very different scenario of just being myself as opposed to intentionally trying to draw attention to myself. Although I think that's what makes me, you know, this is something I've kind of reflected on quite a bit over the past few weeks or so. Like, I tend to be very intimidating to a lot of people, I would say, and I think it's often because I am much deeper with my thoughts than most people are. People are very surface level. I am not surface level by any means whatsoever. You know, I can sit here and talk on and on about just all of these very deep topics that most people, they have no idea what I'm even talking about. So, yeah, I could blend in, or I could just be myself. So that is the main thing that I'm trying to convey here. That no matter how difficult it is for you, with all of these external sources that are telling you to believe one thing, you have to look inside and believe what you feel is right for you. I can't tell you what is right for you. Only you can determine what is right for you. I can say, oh, this is what's right for me. This is what I like. This is what I'm going to do. And here are the things that are trying to deter me from that. But in your situation, it's going to be completely different. You're going to have completely different things within your own life that are going to negatively impact you, that are going to raise you up and that are going to influence a lot of your decisions and things that you have to combat in order to find who you truly are and live free of this resistance. So, that's one of the major revelations you have to have. Realizing what is holding you back and then not letting these external sources really influence you. There are so many things in our external world that can influence us. Our decision making, our thinking, the way that we feel about ourselves and the world around us. If we look at like social media, for example, that's to use that as a very good example. Doesn't matter what social media platform you use, it's always designed to get you hooked on the platform, to start to understand the things that you're thinking and present information to you to keep you on that platform, and then very likely to slowly incorporate different messages to make you believe things that you wouldn't normally believe, but because you're so hooked on it at that point, you start to believe it. You know, it's just, let me tell you this, it's just always so sad going anywhere and everyone's just always on their phone all the time. I would understand it if they're on their phone learning something. I would be all for that if they're learning a new skill, if they're watching some educational program, but let's be real here now. Who's doing that? Besides maybe me, on occasion. Maybe I will look at something that is educational or helpful or helps me learn something. You know, if I'm on my phone anywhere that's, you know, like outside. So it's kind of like, okay, most people aren't like that though. Most people aren't thinking in that way. Most people are very surface level. They're only thinking about, okay, let's see what is on my social media feed. Let's see what my friends have posted. Let's see what funny, you know, videos I can watch on the internet and such. You know, they're really not thinking from a much deeper perspective here. They're not doing things to benefit themselves or to learn anything. They're just kind of mindlessly wasting their time away when they could be spending it. Maybe they want to learn a new skill. Maybe they can start researching that skill. Maybe they can start finding ways of implementing those skills. You know, it's like, let's just use me as an example here when it comes to like a long time ago when I learned programming, like website programming and that sort of stuff. That was before the internet was as popular, you know, like as big as it is now. It was like much harder to connect to the internet back in the day. You know, I was very dedicated to learning how to do it. So I did a lot of trial and error. I watched a bunch of educational videos about it. I was very dedicated to learning something. And that's how things are still today for me, because whenever I want to learn something, I will give it all of my attention and learn every opportunity that I possibly can, because I know that I will achieve it. It's just only a matter of time. There are skills that I have now that I started learning, you know, like 4 or 5 years ago, that I feel as though at this point I don't ever call myself a master of any skills. Let's be clear. We can never really truly be masters, but we continuously always learn something. That's what it's always about. But yeah, there are skills that I've learned, you know, many years ago that I feel as though I understand, I have a much better grasp on those skills right now. So whenever I'm trying to learn something new, which we would technically talk more about this in next week's topic, because that is what our next topic is going to be about learning a very efficient way of learning a lot of new skills, a lot of things that I have implemented in my life. But so we will explore this topic more next week. But you know, it's just about you being patient with yourself and realizing that what is hard today is easy tomorrow with enough time. But we're not going to go too much into that right now. I do not want to spoil our topic for next week. I don't. Instead, we're just talking about the things that we're holding us back and that we are resistant to. Okay? Well, I see a bunch of hearts flying in here. Thank you for all of the hearts, Joshua. I appreciate that. Or anyone else who may have posted it. I don't know. I don't know who's here. This is a desert today. It is a desert today. There ain't nobody here. There ain't nobody here. And I just kind of explained why. People are very surface level. They don't like to think deep. So when we talk about a deep topic, it scares people away. It's terrifying to people to talk about a deep subject. They don't want to talk about deep stuff. They only want to talk about very surface level stuff. You know, it's like, oh, look, how was the weather? Oh yeah, the weather is great. Oh, how was your a time with this and that? Oh yeah, you know, so great. Yeah. Oh, what sort of clothes you buy? All this, you know, it's like, I'm like, you know, we can briefly, very, very briefly mention that in like one minute, and then we move on to deeper stuff. And that's like, no, I'm good. I don't want to talk about the deep stuff. That's how most people are. It is a shame. It's a shame. So that, you know, talking about being in a state of resistance, most people are. Most people are. Uh, also want to say hello to Buddhist. Great to have you here. How are you doing? Listening in silence. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, the roosters are here. How cute are they? We are so cute and stinky. There you go, boys. You just sit right here and you just keep the people company. As you look cute. So, one of the next ways of removing yourself from this being in a state of resistance is to figure out what your inner conflicts are. What are the things that you are very conflicted about? There are so many things we can be conflicted about within our mind, whether it be different job opportunities or relationships or just all sorts of drama that we bring into our life. All sorts of drama that is in our life from external people. A lot of this can cause inner conflicts, like, oh, should I do this? Should I do that? We're so conflicted on what we want to do that we don't really know what we want to do a lot of times. And that creates resistance. That creates resistance because we can't figure out what is true for us. What is the true thing that we have to excel at, that we are very good at, that we want to achieve? Yeah, this and that, and it's like all this other, you know, it's like, clear it all out. Clear out whatever that conflict is inside of you and begin to realize who you truly are so that you can get to a much better place. And see, Joshua says, unfortunately, I found out one of my friends is a scammer and I stopped the victim from funding my friend who is a scammer. I've had a long 3 months. Oh, well, that is terrible to hear if you had a friend who was a scammer. I really hope that that does not, yeah, that you don't attract any more of those people into your life. Because that is a horrible thing. It really is. Absolutely horrible. You know, as we just talked about when it comes to external people, external things that are influencing us in our life, you know, other people can be manipulating us even. A lot of people could be manipulating the way that we feel about ourselves and the world. So we just have to be very mindful of the people that we associate with. I always approach it this way. When it comes to people, I am always extremely skeptical of people. Always. I never let anyone know any personal information about me until I feel as though I can give them some level of trust. And then sometimes, you know, people lose trust. I feel as though for me, it's like if someone breaks my trust, you can never get it back. At least not the same that it was before. Especially the more that it keeps happening, and the more that it, you know, keeps going down that way. So it's just kind of like I only give I'm only open with people that I can give some sort of level of trust to. So it's just very interesting. It's just very interesting. It really is. And I think it's very important to be mindful of the people that you associate with. Be careful of the people you associate with. Don't just blindly trust everyone that you meet, because they could be manipulating you. They could be narcissistic. They could be manipulating you. They could be deceiving you into giving you something, to build up a level of trust within you, to only take it all away. And then you could have a lot of this conflict, whether or not it's like, why did this person do this to me? Why did it happen? Could be because you have a lot of this, you're too nice. You're too open and honest about who you are without being a bit skeptical. It's very different being skeptical as opposed to being paranoid. Okay? People will say, oh, you are paranoid, which is why you can't trust people. And it's like, no, I'm just very doubtful of people and very skeptical of people. I do not give out, very, very personal details unless I can trust the person to a degree. Yet then again, here I am online making a whole bunch of videos about my personal life and about the situations that I've went through. So it's kind of funny that way, isn't it? It's kind of funny that way. But that is just my way of helping other people as well. I get out a lot of this information to help other people to realize that they are not alone in this matter. Because there's always a lot of people who are very silent, who don't necessarily communicate because they're too afraid. So I can be a voice for them, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, resolving your inner conflict is very beneficial for you, removing the resistance that you have within you. Being able to remove that resistance is highly beneficial. It really is. Let's see, skeptical and paranoid are two different things. You're absolutely right. Paranoid. So let's actually kind of break this down a little bit, because this is something that I've heard a lot, because I used to be paranoid and now I'm just more skeptical of people. So, paranoid and skeptical, or just, I guess, even mindful of other people's motives and actions. Let's think about this for a moment. So, paranoia means that you have an intense fear that someone is going to do something or something is happening. So for example, for me, I had paranoia that there were other people looking at me, poisoning my food when I would go out to a restaurant, always looking at me, trying to plot harm against me, and I was terrified. I was scared. That's paranoia, because I felt scared. I was afraid of these things that were happening. Now, being a bit suspicious, being mindful, being, aware of what is going on, being skeptical of what people's motives are, is maybe having different, maybe similar beliefs, but not being afraid of that. So for example, if I see someone suspicious and I feel as though, okay, maybe this guy is going to, do me some sort of harm or something, I could be very skeptical, but I'm not going to be afraid. I'm just going to be like, okay, I'm going to be mindful. I'm going to keep my eye on this person. I'm going to monitor their actions and figure out, who they are and what their actions are. But I'm not going to be fearful and afraid of them, of something that may or may not happen. A lot of times also paranoia often is attached to some sort of past trauma that you have endured, or some sort of past issue. So if someone is paranoid that their partner is going to cheat on them, it's often because they had a past of either other partners cheating on them, or that they have abandonment issues also during childhood in some sort of capacity. So when you're aware of that, then you begin to realize, okay, one thing is paranoia. Other one is to be mindful of maybe people's actions and not connecting those to past situations. So, I can't sit here and say that I am 100% paranoia free. That's just not how it is. I've dealt with that for many, many years. So certainly it's still there to some degree, but it's so much less now. It really is. It's a lot less than it was. I can actually go out somewhere and not be afraid that someone is going to try to, you know, poison me and kill me, and then I'm dead. And then everyone just goes around me and just laughs, you know? It's like, okay, that is what I thought before. It's like, okay, that's just kind of weird. It's like, no, that's not gonna happen. But I mean, you know, those are thoughts that I used to have. But I just don't have those thoughts anymore. What do you think, Roosters? We don't have any fear. The only fear that we have is that people won't like our feet. Okay, so if you don't like our feet, then we will put our feet up to your nose holes and you will sniff them and you will be forced to love them. That's right. Ah, boys. There. He's going to sit right here. How cute is that? Am I right? That is so cute indeed. Let's see, when hurt people, how is it possible that the hate, rage, and negative feelings in the abuser can be muted or transformed? Often punishment will make those people more negative. Also, empathy does not work. Ah. Okay. So if someone is hurt and they are hurting other people as a self of, they are projecting that to other people. So they are hurt, so they project it to make themselves feel better. How can it be transformed? So I would say that they would need some sort of different outlet. They would need to find a different outlet in order to really deal with their problem. So if you are on the end of the abuse and the person is abusing you who has been abused, then yeah, I understand how punishment may not be able to be effective because they feel as though they're being abused more, so they may end up acting up more as a result. So what are some things? It's just about you being able to figure out some ways that they can release a lot of that negativity without hurting someone else. Being able to lift them up to make them realize that they have potential and they're not really being hurt by other people. It's always a perceived thing within our mind that we're being hurt by other people if you're on the end of some sort of abuse or if you feel as though you're abused. Because once you are abused, you feel as though everyone is out doing you harm and abusing you, so you may project that. Just about being mindful, which is actually, that actually honestly brings us to one of the last main things here when it comes to releasing a lot of the things that are putting us into a state of resistance. And that's being mindful, being in the present moment. How do we be mindful? You can be mindful by sniffing my feet. It puts you into a trance. That's right. Boy, that is true though, but not everyone has a rooster, okay? Only people with roosters here can, can relax to the stinky foot stench, okay? That's right. Boy, settle it down, okay. So, mindfulness. A lot of people, when I say mindfulness, they think like some sort of meditation where you just, you sit on the ground and you're doing this with your hands and whatever. It's like, no, that doesn't have to be mindfulness. Mindfulness is basically you being in the present moment with whatever is happening. That's it. That is it. That could mean that you're listening to a music and you're focusing on the music. That could mean that you're watching my stream here and you're focusing just on my stream instead of scrolling through your social media feed and doing a bunch of other random crap that you shouldn't be doing. You should be paying attention to me, and I am insulted if you're doing anything else besides paying attention to me. Let's be real here. So, that's what mindfulness is. It doesn't have to be a meditation. It's certainly helpful if it is some sort of clearing your mind out of any and all thoughts and just calming it down to be at peace. But not everyone gets to that point right away. So finding other means of being mindful can be extremely helpful and beneficial to you. Even playing a game can be a state of mindfulness because you're in the present moment and you're focused on that. You're not distracted with all this other stuff. You're just focused on the one thing, and that's it. Now, of course, that only gets you so far, up to the point where you do have to clear out a lot of the clutter from your mind by practicing mindfulness in a more quiet or just peaceful environment, or something that allows you to just close your eyes and just let it all out. A very good example that I've always given when it comes to mindfulness, being in the present moment. There's different scenarios you can use. It all depends on what you personally like. I'll talk about both the examples here. One of the examples is, let's say you are standing next to train tracks and the train's going by. The train and all the cars of the train represent your thoughts going through your mind. Okay? Now, the thing is, the train moves so fast. You trying to keep up with one of your thoughts is like you trying to chase it down, and you get worn out as a result. Instead, you just stand there and you just watch it go by. You watch the thoughts go by without attaching yourself to them. You may look at it occasionally and get a little bit attached to it, but then you let it go. It goes off into the distance, and it's gone from your mind. Okay, because it's very, very, very challenging to just do a meditation and relax and just not have any thought whatsoever. That's literally it's. If we try to do that for maybe like the first few seconds, our mind would be clear, but then some thoughts come creeping in, and before we know it, we're thinking about what we just did today. We're thinking about the problems that we have at work or in our relationships, or thinking about what we're going to do tomorrow. And the next thing we know, it's like, I was supposed to be letting out all those thoughts and ideas, and instead, I'm just thinking about them. And we're not even aware of it. That's just what ends up happening. So if you imagine a train, we're basically just like, we just like hopped on one of the trains and we're just going down now. Instead of just being mindful and just letting it pass, letting it flow. It's quite challenging to do that, but you have to be able to keep practicing it to recognize yourself like, oh, wait a second, I'm starting to think about this. Let it go. What I'm going to do tomorrow, it's like, oh, I have work tomorrow. What am I going to do there? Oh, a boss wants something from me. Oh, I have schoolwork to do. I need to do something. All this other stuff. Just let it all out. Let it go and just be in the present moment and be mindful. And then new thoughts will start coming to you that you never thought about before. New thoughts that you never thought about before will start coming to you. The other thing is, I guess another example here, this one's a less like, again, this is all going to be your own personal preference as well. I like the train analogy because it makes a lot of sense. This one, it also makes sense, but it's a little bit less, a train one makes sense because a train goes by so fast you cannot catch up with it. The other one is, imagine like a stream of water and there's like leaves in the stream, and each of the leaves in the stream represents your thoughts. So are you going to be chasing the leaves down the stream and watching where they go, or are you just going to stand there and just watch them pass and just go? That's what mindfulness is about, and I think it's very important to practice that, to be in the present moment. Okay, let me read over some more of your comments here. Let's see. Hope Rooster loves your words. I love all words that start with feet and end with feet. DJ? Oh, you heard him. Whenever you say feet, he loves it. Maybe the consequence is that people leave them. That could certainly be a consequence. If you have someone who's acting out and abusing you, then yeah, I mean, it's like you shouldn't tolerate that. You should be able to stand up for yourself and just realize, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve this. Rooster defeated the science. That's right. We don't like science here. Nope. Only the science of feet stench. Digit. Oh my gosh. If you cannot forgive those that have done you wrong, how do you expect to overcome the trauma? You're absolutely right. You have to be able to forgive those people who have done you wrong, people who have hurt you, people who have done bad things to you. You have to be able to forgive them. I have a gift. Let's see who gets the gift, because there's really not many people here, let's see. All people who are not here. Okay, Warren got a gift membership. Hello, Warren. I don't think I've seen any of these people. Actually, I think I've maybe seen one of them, possibly. You are enough. There you go. Congratulations on the gift membership. I wish I would prioritize people in the chat, but I guess not. Absurdity, welcome to the Rooster Club. Neon Trion, welcome. And one more. Jesse, welcome. So all of those people have gotten a gift membership to the channel, so you get 1 month of early access to new videos before anyone else does. So yes, there you go. I cannot pick and choose. You two picks and choose. I would have loved to have given it to the actual, some of the people who were actually here. But you know how it is. You know how it is. YouTube is like that. So before we close this off, because it is a new year, we drew our card last time, and it was a very positive thing. It was a very positive thing, I must say. So let's see how it is with just a few days in. How is it going to be? How may the positive things, maybe there's something we're thinking about for this week. Maybe there's some sort of conflict that we have that we do want to resolve, because we want to live in a state of non-resistance. We want to be able to be the best version of ourselves. So what card may actually help us here? It is... There she is here. This is the Queen of Pentacles. We got Pentacles last time. Pentacles often is associated with like money and finances. So maybe this will be a good financial year for you. Okay, so Queen of Pentacles. She is the queen. Thoughtfulness, intelligence, talents, and it says melancholy. Okay, so maybe just you being able to be kind and thoughtful to other people. You using your kindness, your thoughtfulness, you being able to help someone else out in need who maybe needs some sort of help. Maybe you realize someone has a bad day about something. Maybe you can help them through it. Or maybe someone will help you through some sort of bad thing going on in your life. That will be the theme of this coming week. Do something kind to someone else. No matter what it is, no matter how simplistic it is, even just smiling at a random stranger as you walk by them can brighten up their day. I don't know about you, but that's happened to me before. It's like I've been down, I felt bad, and then it was actually very, very interesting. This was like a very bad day, and I was out somewhere, and then there was this very nice woman. She was almost like angelic, almost in some sort of way. and she just gave a big old smile and says, "I hope you have a great day." And it's like, wow, that just completely just, you know, brightened up my mood. And it was just so interesting because it's like, no one says that. No one does that sort of stuff. So she was just very interesting, for sure. Very, very interesting. Kind of, it kind of makes you wonder. It's like, oh, you know, is it some sort of like guardian angel or something along those lines? You know, some sort of higher spirit or something that is, you know, just brightening your mood. Possibly, I don't know, but it's interesting. It really, really is. So, Roosters, would you like to say anything to close off the broadcast? Yes, Late Loser. Okay, so listen closely, guys. So you know that we have our OnlyFeet.sniff website up and running? Yes. So I'm offering a free membership, and by free I mean you have to pay us, instead of 6 million rat bucks, you got to pay only 5.999 billion rat bucks. Okay, boy, I don't think anyone wants to talk about your feet sniffers. Oh, yeah. Oh, these rats! I tell you, these rats. You can't stand them. Can't stand them. That's right. That's right. So cute, right? Look. Oh. Boy, you're going to influence my microphone here. Anyway, folks, I want to thank you all so very much for tuning in here. I want to thank all of the people who've gotten the gift subs who are not here, who will probably never even be aware that they got gift subs, who have probably never even been to this channel before and have no idea what it even is or what it's even about. Yeah, congratulations. So yeah, I will talk with you all again next week. I will be live again here. So you all take care, have a great one, and always remember to, whenever things seem as though they're going bad, just you can brighten up yourself even just by being mindful and just removing a lot of the crap. And you can help other people as well. So have a great one, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye-bye.